I'm just going to start right off with this main event too, because so what's your game plan, Overeem? Like, what's your get your ass kicked for 2 rounds and then just like know he's going to gas out and then fuck him up? I felt like that's what it was the whole time.
Yeah, I thought he stayed calm. I thought he was calculated. Those first 2 rounds had me a little nervous, but with the experience of Alistair Overeem, I looked at that and I went, man, there's something going on here, because I was, obviously you can tell, especially with heavyweights, I was looking at whether or not he was breathing out of the mouth, whether or not he was gassed. He looked fine. He looked calm. He looked composed. And I go, and then that 3rd round hit. And then I started to see just a complete change. And then the 4th round was brutal. I thought Sakai actually came out and looked decent in the 4th round. Yeah. But then Alistair Overeem just turned it on, man. He was taking him down. And we're talking about an elite kickboxer here, right? And like his ground game and his grappling looked phenomenal. Like I was like, I mean, for what he was able to do and accomplish against Sakai.
Yeah, he's a way more well-rounded MMA fighter than he was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
like he's just evolved so much in his game. I mean, I feel like his last few fights, he's really found a lot of success on the ground and with the ground and pound. And it kind of shocked me because I meant no disrespect earlier, but it was just weird because I really felt like he took the first 2 rounds off. He was letting Sakai gas himself. He was letting him throw those big bombs. He was letting him engage in the clinch. I mean, I don't want to say he was eating shots because he wasn't. He was covering up for most of that. He wasn't taking damage. Yeah, he lost on the cards, obviously. But, I mean, it seemed like that was his plan. He knew the big guy was going to come in and outstrike himself, and it seemed like that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because the second he had those takedowns, he didn't have enough gas to get back up. And it seemed like he almost didn't even attempt to at some point.
Sakai definitely seemed gassed in that 4th. And then coming out in that 5th, too. And we could talk about the stoppage. We could talk about whether or not we thought that was an early stoppage or not. But Sakai looked beat up. He looked tired. He looked exhausted. And as soon as that went to the ground, he turned to the side and kind of, was starting to curl up a little bit. And Alistair was just dropping
Bombs, heavy bombs, heavy elbows, man.
I mean, just those elbows and those hammer fists, like landing flush and clean. And I'm like, whoo, I'm glad I don't fight. I'm glad I don't do this for a living, because, God, and those kicks too, man. But we'll talk about that
leg
in a little
kicks.
bit. Yeah, man. I was very impressed with Alistair Overeem. People had questioned his chin about 2 or 3 years ago. I can remember this because, you know what? I got to be honest. I think I was one of those people to a certain extent. Same. He had these vicious knockouts with Rosenstruck, with Francis Ngannou, and you start to look at this and you go, man, should this guy, with being 40 years old, getting older, he's going to turn 41. But I don't know what happened with Alistair Overeem over the course of his last 2 or 3 fights, but he has looked so impressive. And you know what? He looked really impressive against Rosenstruck, too. He just got caught in that fight. I had him winning that fight, like plain as day, but he just got caught in the 5th round. And that does happen sometimes, being heavyweights. But I am so impressed with Alistair Overeem, and I believe that he really is a legitimate top 5 heavyweight contender. And I think he could potentially fight for a belt one last time.
Yeah, well, he keeps saying it. This is his last run.
Yeah.
And I really feel like it is, dude. Like, this is it.
It has to be.
This is it. This is your best chance. He's calling for that Rosenstruck rematch. He's totally cool with that.
Well, and that's the fight to make.
Yeah.
That's the fight we have to see.
I agree.
Again, I mean, going back to that fight, Alistair Overeem was up on the judges' scorecards, on my card, I'm assuming on yours as well. And, and Rosenstruck caught him big.
Yeah, it's
that's
either
the fight to run back.
It's either that or Derek Lewis, but they're doing Derek Lewis blades. So,
yes, they are.
I mean, but that's it.
That's it.
Yep. It really is. I mean, JDS, I guess, but he just took that L.
And here's the thing, too. With how much Alistair Overeem has done for the sport and how he has always been a yes man. Alistair Overeem has always been a yes man. If he goes out there and beats a contender in Rosenstruck, I'm okay. I'm okay if this guy gets a shot. Like, Absolutely. He deserves it. He looks really, really well put. I mean, obviously, it's Alistair Overeem. Yeah. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. Yeah. But I just mean all well-rounded striker, because, I mean, he is a stand-up guy, but his ground game is what's impressing me most, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when he gets in top, his top control and the way he's able to just dominate and just drop hammer fists and just, I don't know. He's executing his game plan to perfection, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he's covering up well. He's playing good defense, and he's playing it's strategy here. Like, I never felt at any time that Alistair Overeem was in trouble.
Yeah.
during this
absolutely.
fight.
Absolutely.
He was losing
completely
rounds,
safe.
absolutely.
He was completely safe in those first two, even when he was up against the fence in the clinch. Landing, I mean, the guy I don't even want to say he's landing because he was covered up.
Yeah.
He didn't take much damage.
No,
he was
didn't.
losing, but exactly. He didn't take any damage. So much credit to Alistair. The
Yeah,
defense
it's
is
so
looking
impressive.
great.
Yeah, it really is. And this guy goes out, and if he were to beat Rosenstruck, you got to give him a chance. He's been a yes man. He's Alistair Overeem. He's a household name.
Yeah.
Give him that shot, man. So, yep, that's where I stand. Great fight nonetheless, though. And Sakai, let's give some credit to Sakai too,
his
because
striking
you know what?
looked really good.
You and I counted him out in the first and second round. I think you had first round, I had second round, or something along those lines. You know, we kind of counted Sakai out, but he looked really good, well put together. His cardio impressed me. I gotta say, he gassed a little bit in the fourth and fifth, absolutely. But I mean, when you're getting punched like that, it's real hard to keep that gas tank going. But I thought overall, I was really impressed with him, and I think moving forward, like give him another 2-3 years, he could be a top 5 contender.
Absolutely. Young up and coming contender series guy. I mean, shit, he's only had a few fights in this division, and he's already top 10 fighting in Alistair Overeem.
I mean, wasn't he on the contender series, like 2 years ago?
Not even. I think it was last year.
Last year, yeah, exactly.
Or even sooner or something. I don't know.
He looks for what he's able to do in this short a time in the UFC, I'm very impressed with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's many matchups you can match him up with that are just extremely intriguing as well.
Oh, yeah, even now.
Olynyk coming off that loss. You got Ivanov, other people like that. Even a JDS coming off a loss. Why not?
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
JDS.
Volkov.
Because that's another tough test.
Yeah, a lot of them. This heavyweight division, I've said it in the past on this podcast, it's one of the weaker ones, I think. But you know what? If they keep on getting new guys like Sakai, man, it's going to be really strong real quick.
Yeah.
Because the top 5 to 7 are still legit, like world-class contenders, but we just need a little bit more to beef up that top 15.
Yes, we do.
I'd be real happy.